Shalom. Before I begin this video, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Also as well, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, that continue to rule very well to this very day. That is us still, to this very day, continually feeding the flock through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And also as well, likewise, Shalom, and much due honors to the Hopefully elect as well. That's also following in the legacy of the apostles and the elders of old and the ancient men that have continually preached this gospel, and also continuing to further this ministry and this gospel in today's time in all faith, truth, and sincerity, and also in all charity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled, "This Has to Be the Last Generation." Okay, and it's pursuant to a message or a message that I received yesterday while I was at work, and it was regarding the current state of this school system, which we affectionately call the fool system. And there's a reason why we call it the fool system, is because these institutions that are set up here in America, which is recorded in the Bible as Babylon the Great, these institutions are set up to not to better our people, and I'm directing this towards our people because this message in this gospel is meant for our people. You know, these institutions were set up to govern life on the planet Earth, but really they were set up to further throw you into a deeper level of darkness, because that's why the grading system is there for a reason. Because once you start, you know, first you have pre-K, of course, you got kindergarten, then you got first grade all the way through the 12th grade, and then some goes to college. You know, then you have your associates, your bachelors, your masters, your doctors, and your PhD. You know, those are different levels that people go down to make themselves so-called make themselves into something in society. You know, basically to continue in the folly and also in the hopes of obtaining the so-called American dream. But what you notice is that when it comes to the rudiments of this world and the doctrines being pushed by Babylon the Great, is mainly pushed through the fool system. And like I said, we call it that because you're basically making yourself into a worse of a fool than you were before as you continue down the path. And like I said, you know, this is furthering the destruction of our people, because, you know, the main ones that they target in regards to this is our people, so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But in regards to that, you know, they start with the youngest generation, and that's why you see more of this madness, and that's why I got a still of the picture here. You know, now they have, you know, I don't even know what to call these anymore, but but man, this is disgusting, man. This really, man, this is the kind of madness that vexes our spirit day in and day out, and that's why we can't wait for the system to be broken down utterly. But they start with the younger generation, and that's why this generation, Gen Z, as it's being called, Gen Z is worse than the generations before. Why is that? Because as these different ideas, as far as you know, the modes, the transformers, once these things are introduced into the world by the way of America, they also push the same thing in the school systems. And that's why you see this happening today. Because, and it really, like I said, it starts with the children. Because the children is going to bring in the next generation. All right, and that's why you see what came out of the millennial generation. Because, it all came to it all came to full speed during the time of the millennials. And then out of the millennials came Gen Z, and you see how messed up Gen Z is, man. This recent generation, that's full of monsters and complete jesters, court jesters. But like I said, that's where they target. They target the children. Because the children, they are more susceptible to what's being taught to them. As a child, your mind is a sponge. It soaks up everything you see and you hear. So with this taking place, they're already beginning to indoctrinate the children to accept this, to see this as something that's normal. But when you notice the older generation, right, they're not with it. That's why you're seeing protests, somewhat of an uprising from the older generation, because that this wasn't something that was introduced in their time. And that lets you know that times have gotten worse and worse. And also as well, the times are speeding up as well. The Lord is allowing this place to continue in its folly so that it can be utterly destroyed. But like I said, it's concerning these institutions, it's really set up to indoctrinate the people. That's all it's set up for. Because next to the medical industry, which is the top, the richest, one of the richest institutions or industries on the planet, next to that is the education system, which is all, it was right next to the medical industry that's making top dollar. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop into the precepts that I have here. I'm gonna try to get through this, make this concise as much as I can, and also likewise, like always, Lord's will, this is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Lord's will, this feeds you to the full, and also continue to sharpen you in the spirit. And we're gonna go ahead and hop right into Isaiah chapter 3. And this is at verse 5. It says, "And the people shall be oppressed, everyone by another, and everyone by his neighbor. The child shall behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable." And you see that today. That's why with the children that you see today, they are complete demons, because they're not put underneath the rod. All right, and that rod represents correction. It represents discipline, because in today's time, you can't even discipline your child, because if you do, you're seen as a monster. You're seen as a bad parent, a bad guardian, and you're more likely to lose your child because you're disciplining them. See, and like I said, you can't discipline your children, and what comes out of that? They buck up against their parents. They do certain acts. That's why you see kids shooting each other. You got these little 7-year-old, 8-year-old kids shooting their like little baby brothers, baby sisters. That goes on, man. Why? Because first and foremost, the words, most importantly, the words and the rudiments, which is governed by Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahshua, not kept up on the planet Earth. If it was, none of this would be going on. Everything you see here on the planet Earth concerning wickedness, concerning these moles, transformers, concerning the legislations, and the continual oppression that's here on the planet Earth, all this would not be taking place. The Earth would not be mourning. And you know what? That brings to mind the article that the elder Yashawamba put up concerning the oysters. Now why are they making a movement to do that? Why are they making movements to get plastic out of the oceans and the seas? Why are they making movements to clean up the trash that's on the planet Earth and to try to save the wildlife? They're the ones that's causing the trouble. They're the ones that's causing all this destruction that's going on the planet Earth, and now they want to say that they want to save the planet. How are you going to save the planet when you're destroying it? You damn devils! You're destroying it, and you making the Earth mourn. The Earth is not going to be clean dissolved. Slakia. It's not going to be clean unless you're taken up out of rulership. I'm talking about Esau Edom, which is the true biblical nationality of the so-called white man. The Earth is not going to be cleansed unless this man is taken out of power. The Earth is never going to be cleansed unless he is gone off the face of the earth, because he's the one that's causing this, and he doesn't want to see that. So when the Lord returns, who is Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, when he returns, he is going to do this. He is going to clean this earth utterly. And the element he's going to use to clean this earth is going to be fire. So like the scriptures say in Isaiah 3 verse 5, it says, everyone by his neighbor, the child, shall behave himself proudly against the ancient. And you see that they don't have no respect for their elders, so to speak. The elders, they're not particularly in the truth. They don't know who they are. I'm talking about our people. But at least you would expect some sort of respect for the ones that brought them into this world. Their fathers, especially the fathers, man. That's why you see most of the time, especially among our people, fathers that are not in the household. And who is perpetuating that? Esau, of course. The devil that the Bible speaks of. He's the one that's causing all this, man. That's why we're in this position now. That's why we're bringing out videos on topics like this. These different schools with the school system, these different schools that are set up to dirty up the minds of the children. Because that's who they're aiming for. Like I said, that's the main target. As long as you get your hands on the children, as long as you have control over them and able to teach them wherever you want to teach them, and the older generation fades away, that brings about your agenda and what you want done. That's why Esau Edom is making a big push to do this. That's why you have Moes that have entered into these different schools so that they can be presented to the children so they can see that as being normal. But reading on verse 6, it's like it. It says, when a man shall take hold of his brother of the house of his father, saying, thou hast clothing, be thou a ruler, let this ruin be under thy hand. And actually, let me go down just a little bit. Verse 9. I want to grab this. It says, the show of their countenance doth witness against them, and they declare their sin as Sodom. They hide it not. So the show of their countenance is witnessing against them. All right, and you see that. They're not hiding it anymore. They are proudly proclaiming rebellion against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, because this current world that's set up today, it is in an open rebellion against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. They are openly rebelling against the Lord, the Maker, the Creator of the heavens and the earth. So, again, it says, the show of their countenance doth witness against them. They declare their sin as Sodom, they hide it not. Woe unto their soul, for they have rewarded evil unto themselves. So evil is going to be rewarded for this. There's always a reward for everything that's done on the planet Earth. Like the scriptures say in Galatians, the Most High is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So once you sow into these things that are happening on the planet Earth, all right, you're going to reap the same. You sow evils, you're going to reap evils. You sow oppression, you're going to reap oppression. And that's what's going to happen in the time to come, because the world needs to go back into balance, because the world is out of balance right now. And the scriptures speak on a false balance being an abomination to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay, so reading on verse 10, it says, "Say ye to the righteous that it shall be well with him, for they shall eat the fruit of their doings." And there you go, sowing what you reap. And I'll slack you. So I want to get by real quick. Okay, so verse 11, it says, "Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him." All right, we always going to hear the word ill. It means bad. It means it's not going to go well with him. For the reward of his hands shall be given him. So, like I said, these things that are happening on the planet Earth, and like I just mentioned earlier about these institutions that are set up, these institutions of indoctrination, there's a reward for that, man. They're going to eat the fruit of their doings. They're going to have to answer for this, and he's not going to escape. So reading on verse 12, and it's the point. "As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them." Okay, now this is twofold. All right, because not only is it talking about the children, right? That's an oppression towards the ones that are over them, that are watching over them, their parents, their father and their mother, but also as well Esau Edom, which again is a true biblical nationality of the so-called white man. He's regarded as a child, and that's why you read in the scriptures. It says, woe unto thee, O earth, when thy king is a child." And also in the book of Job, it says, "They that are younger than I have me in derision." So because Esau is the ultimate child, when you look at his activities that he participate in, he is just like a child, man. And that's why you see today this world, the society being in disarray, because you got children that are ruling over the planet Earth. And on top of that, you got the children themselves, right? The ones that are younger in age. You know, they're also been given liberty to do whatever they want, because if you leave a child to his own devices, they'll get into all kinds of madness. And if you let a child lead you, he'll take you all around the world. He'll take you everywhere. All right. And just continue to lead you down an unknown path. And that's what's happening, because they're saying that they're giving liberty to the children. Well, guess what? Their minds are not developed enough to make certain wise decisions, because they haven't experienced the world. They haven't experienced, they haven't experienced anything, and they're not taught. They just came out of the spirit world. All right. They just came out of the spirit world to the planet Earth. So how in the world are they gonna be able to? How in the world are they gonna be able to make rash decisions? That's why this world is backwards, man. But anyway, it says, "O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err, and destroy the way of thy paths." Because you got Esau Edom that's being the ruler of the planet Earth, that's leading the charge as far as wickedness. And then you have the ones out of our nation, the nation of Israel, that are also set up as the leaders of our people underneath the watchful eye of Edom, and they're causing our people to err. And they're also a contributor to what you see in the fool system. And they're the main ones, especially Eve, the woman of our nation, that pushes this. Because when you see the majority of the ones that go off to college, the majority are women, because they're more susceptible in accepting of different ideas and doctrines. That's why the serpent in the beginning did not go to Adam. The serpent went to Eve, because again, she is the weaker vessel. So therefore, she is more willingly to accept anything that's presented to her. And that just adds more to the wickedness on the planet Earth, because now she's been given so much liberty to do what she want, and it's also putting the earth further into disarray because of that. And it also contributes to the way that the children are. And see, and since once you listen to the explanation, and as you go down the rabbit hole on things that are taking place on the earth, man, you see that one thing leads to another. It's one event caused another. One area of living, or one area of the world, can affect the other parts of the world, or other parts of living. So all these things are causing wickedness to continue to flourish. It's like fertilizer. When you put a plant, and wickedness is regarded as a plant, all right, it speaks about that in Second Esdras, where that evil seed that was sown, guess what, is been given nutrients and fertilized, all right? And then what you see on the planet Earth is doing nothing but fertilizing that plant that's been planted. Okay, but let's see here. I believe there was another one, but I think it may be over here. Yep, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 28, and this is at verse 7. It says, "But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision, they stumble in judgment." And that wine is being presented to the people, especially our people. That wine is the wine of Sodom and the grapes of Gomorrah. All right, it speaks about that in the scriptures as well. So that drinking of that wine of Sodom, that wine of Egypt, that mixture that's been put into the cup and presented to them. And that's why the scriptures say that Babylon is that golden cup that made all the earth drunken, which is full of mixture, full of abominations, and our people are drinking it down. So that's why they're erring through strong drink. All right, and once again, that strong drink is the doctrines and the ideas being pushed by America. But it's causing them to stumble, and it's causing them to stumble in judgment. Verse 8, it says, "For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean." And when you consider a table is where you eat at. That's where you eat. And we always go into it. When you take in knowledge, your mind represents that table, and that's where you eat at. And what is given to you, all right, you like the knowledge and the wisdom that's presented, you eat that. Yeah, that's called food for thought. And you take it and you digest it. But it says here, all tables are full of vomit. There's no place clean. So everything that's given towards our people concerning this current world, the wisdom of this world, like the scriptures say, It's all full of filthiness. It's all full of vomit, detestable, dung. And our people are eating it up, which causing their minds to be dirtied even more. That's why I said near the beginning of the video, that through these different institutions, the minds of our people are being dirtied. Why? Because all tables are full of vomit. And it says there is no place clean. So no matter where you go in the world, it's the same bullshit. I'm trying to keep it PG. It's the same BS. All right. It's the same BS everywhere you go. All right. So from there, let's go on, move on to the next precept. Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. It says, for the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High, for it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. So everything that's perpetuated here on the planet Earth by way of America is nothing but folly and foolishness. Because like I said at the beginning, it doesn't govern life. Life does not continue through this indoctrination. It's really promoting death on the planet Earth. How to be even more of a demon than you were before, yesterday. And putting these different spirits on people to further the oppression that's on the planet Earth, to further the decline of the planet Earth and life itself. So going from there, grab this next one. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 19. It says, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. It says, where's the wise? Where's the scribe? Where's the dispute of this world? Have not the Most High made foolish the wisdom of this world? So there you go. So the Lord is destroying the wisdom of the wise of this world and bringing the understanding, the prudent of this current system, the society. And how is he doing that? He's doing that by way of his wisdom, which is being published through the mouth of his prophets. And actually, Slakia, I wanted to grab something real quick. Yeah, so I want to read this real quick, and I'm gonna run through it. So this was the message that I was speaking about that I saw while I was at work yesterday. It says there's a lot going on in the personal life. This is a person that's a parent that has a child that's going to a school in Texas. All right, so I'm gonna go down just a little bit. So I'm gonna start from this part here. It says, I know you can't see it, but it says, while I have been there, the things that I have seen from the inside is not what the school gives off to the outside world as your typical school. What is actually happening is a snowball of events that are heartbreaking as a parent. I am suddenly now a ringleader of home parents, and now I have another group of parents to fight for our children. It says kids are being stabbed, shit on in the bathrooms, damn, and then blamed they did it to themselves, bullied by other classmates, and nothing is being done about it. Teachers are yelling at the top of their lungs and grabbing children by their clothing. Nothing is being done. It says threats of school shootings, and this is the point right here. It says threats of school shootings and nothing. Kids only have 10 minutes to eat, can't use water bottles, and half the time no bathroom breaks. And 90% of their time, they don't get recess. The children there try to speak up, but then silenced by the school. It says a school is pre-K through 6th grade. Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of it, and of course you gotta, they don't have any sort of knowledge regarding what's really going on. This is just a disgruntled parent, but this is just a snippet on what's happening. That it is what you gather from this message is that the school that you used to know is not the same anymore. Back then it was an iron hand when it came to, teaching the children. But now it's gotten to the point to where they just let the children roam free. And I believe there are videos circling around that you got certain teachers that are allowing the children to do whatever they want. These little millennial monsters that have now became teachers, now they became older, and now they're teaching the kids that this madness, and they're allowing the kids to do whatever they want because they themselves are children. Okay. So let me grab this last one, last precept, First Maccabees, chapter 1, and this is at verse 48. It says, let's see, Slacky. It's actually a few verses up before I get that. Actually, that's it. Yeah, this is it. And then there's some more down. It says that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. And that's in regards to our people. And the scriptures speak about the circumcision and the uncircumcision. Okay, the circumcision is all the ones that know that they're Israelites, and the uncircumcision are the ones that don't know that they're Israelites. So in this regards, this was actually happening during the time of King Antiochus during the Greek Empire. And guess what? In essence, that's happening today because they're not teaching our people who they are. If anything, they taking the Bible completely out of the school. You can't even pray in school anymore. That's how deep this darkness has gotten. And it says, and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation. It says, to the end they might forget the law and change all ordinances. What's the ordinances on the planet Earth? All right, male and female. Basically the ordinance of life, how to continue in the world and continue to govern the world by way of the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, which basically has life continue to proceed. Life continues. Life is governed. But again, like I said earlier, this indoctrination, all right, it breeds death. That's why they're changing the ordinances. And that's why when you read in Isaiah, it says the earth languisheth and mourneth because they changed the ordinances and broken the everlasting covenant. Verse 50, it says, and whosoever who would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So, and that's why in today, if you try to train your child according to the Bible, they'll ostracize you. And that's a form of death. When you're being ostracized by, the people, driven out, so to speak, because you're teaching your child in the right way, according to the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, which are the words of life. So continuing down, all right, verse 60, it says, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain women that had caused their children to be circumcised, and they hanged the infants about their necks, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them. Howbeit, many in Israel were fully resolved and confirmed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing, wherefore they chose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meats, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they died. And like I said, when you try to teach your child according to the Bible, again, they look at you as a monster, as a horrible parent for doing that. But you're just doing nothing but teaching your child how to live. That's all it is. You're teaching your child how to live and to govern life so that life can proceed and continue. And just because you're not teaching your child how to be a mo, or you tell them that they can be any gender they want to, They'd rather have you do that than to teach them how to basically, live life according to the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Shai, and to live in soundness, because they're not living in soundness right now. All right. That's why everything is so chaotic, because their minds are not sound. And that's why you see the suicide rate go up, because their minds are full of demons. But that's all I want to touch in this topic, this video. And Lord's will, this is edifying to the elect of the nation of Israel. Lord's will, this fed you to the full. And until next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone everywhere to this day. And Shalom, peace and safety. And salutations to the hopefully elect, continuing to labor in his work and labor to show for your diligence to make your calling and election sure, in faith, in truth, sincerity, and all charity. And with that, I'm going to say Shalom.